Everyone, today we are going to look at Fathers of Nation, written by Paul Bivita. So we look at the synopsis. Listen carefully. This one goes to the students, everyone who is interested in this new book. It is in our high schools, and it will also be used in campuses and colleges where there is language and literature. So let us go dive into synopsis, and before that, subscribe, and maybe you should like. Let's start. The text opens with an intimidating character identifying himself as the guide, issuing some orders to a group of 4 men. These men do not know each other, but are on the same mission at the Gambia's capital, which is called Banjul. At the Seamount Hotel, we are informed of how each assesses a room reserved for them in different wings. Through the flashback, the author gives us the details of how Mr. Tad Longway meets each of them in their countries of origin. Mr. Tad Longway gives them a chance to support a development agenda for adoption by African heads of state named Path Alpha. This agenda is meant to rival another ideology dubbed Way Omega, a proposition of 20 of the best African researchers, according to Minister Tiku Zinto. The story later shifts back to the present, gives details of how the team intends to infiltrate the summit and force their agenda on the heads of states. Accidentally, all of them seem to have suffered earlier injustices which they all believe shall be solved through the implementation of Path Alpha. Their urge to achieve vengeance gives their story a strong allure. The mannerism in which this is achieved sets the ball rolling towards the text's climax. During several instances, Afolabi can be seen parading himself as the head while abstaining from revealing his identity and maintaining the title the guide. He is later interviewed by a precious lady from the Gambian News, Fiona Mackenzie. Abiola is quick to take pride in his own achievements in life, while revealing that he is in town to advise the heads of state on the best way forward on Way Omega. He is, however, quickly cornered when Fiona takes a sweep on him personally, which quickly changes him into a defensive mood. Mr. Tad Longway seems to be the epicenter of the whole ordeal. His name symbolizes the miles he has covered while converging a group of men to assist in sailing through his agenda of Path Alpha. He appoints himself a henchman, conversely referred to as Abiola Afolabi, to lead and unify the group of 4 men who hardly know each other. The author uses flashback to take us back to a series of events that unfold in the yesteryears to enlighten us on how the group was unified. The meeting of Mr. Karanjo Kimani is given preference as the starting point. The author is not mean with the details concerning Kimani's life. His meek life is given the limelight. Mr. Karanja chooses a satisfying but a penniless life as a lecturer at the University of Nairobi. In contrast, newborn Walomu quits their lecturing career to join politics and becomes an MP. His name, which has been used symbolically, indicates that he has started a new life of material possessions, affluence, and financial muscles. Kimani is keen to discard the ridiculous and futile attempts by his wife, Asia, to quit lecturing and join politics. He is consistent in his fight against corruption. Kimani points out the thorny security issue on African soil, insisting that the government's role is to provide it. Then, no citizen should venture into private security, since that would be tantamount to ridding the government of its role and duty to its citizens. At this point in time, his daughter poses the issue of morality, the plight of women in society, and the changes they face, leading to a heated conversation with her mother. To quell the debate, Kimani insists that good men are out there and that poor government policies and negligence are the most significant causes of deaths, not poverty. Ironically, the girl dies in a greasy road accident, followed by oversight from state agencies. In bringing to the limelight the theme of moral erosion and solipsism, Kimani's wife leaves him for Walomu, who is married to 3 other wives. This sends Kimani in hot pursuit of revenge and remedy for the damage already caused. A physical confrontation with Walomu sees him thrown out of his office. Dr. Afolabi's predicaments are also detailed in the text. He had flown abroad with his wife to catch up with his father-in-law, only to find another woman in his bedroom in Nigeria, brought by his cousin. Femi seems adamant that since Pamela had literally refused to give rise to children, a new life should be obtained for Afolabi for that very purpose. The story of Comrade Melusi is also told in detail by the text. He recounts how their leader had poured scorn on Melusi's people after having sang the national anthem. That is, "Blessed be the land of Zimbabwe." And it continues, his diabetic nature does not deter him from joining his fellow lieutenants at Path Alpha. The plot closely follows the recruitment of Engineer Tahel, who had been a senior officer in his line of duty. Through flashbacks, we are informed of how the young engineer fell in love with a junior co-worker who turned down his proposal. The former's predicaments begin when he decides to slap the young maid in revenge, but disguises his action as corrective measure due to her unveiling her face in public, which was a lie. Although the court rules in his favor, Tahil's mind remains unsettled, and he pursues the nuclear ammunition agenda in isolation without the leader's consent, with whom they had fallen out. As a continuity remark, the author expounds on what befell Pastor Shiamaka in Nigeria. That is my nickname. The long-serving pastor finds himself in the wrong lane of the government, following which he is given a severe warning. During one nasty ordeal, he insists that writing a memo instead of seeking solutions to problems by the government is tantamount to negligence of duty. There is foul play named The Trick by the head of state chairing the meeting, since the African leaders of state are given a chance to contribute to the day's agenda. Instead, an nonsensical formula is brought about through a committee headed by President Dadia Banguora, who ironically indicates that he has no intention of reading either of those documents. Eventually, Path Alpha is forced on the heads of state, which was ironically not even on the list of agenda for discussion on this fateful day. The satire of the octogenarian leadership in Africa, when pitched against techno-savvy young elites, makes the text a good read. The book strives to bring about international unity. It shows that the present-day colonialism is ironically perpetuated by tyrannical African presidents, and the people keen on changing the narrative are people of white origin. Thaddeus Longway, a white South African, is behind AGDA. This outfit is keen on usurping Way Omega in favor of Path Alpha. The VOA Beru in Banjul, under the stewardship of one Mr. Robert Manley, is keen on doing away with the authoritarian rule of the tyrannical fathers of nations. He works with the 25-year-old Nick Sentinel and a reporter, Fiona Mackenzie, who was bred by Scottish parents and therefore bears the Scottish accent. Did you notice how it treats childless marriages like that of Dr. Falabi? Do you feel the tribulation of Professor Kemani, Comrade Melusi, Pastor Chineke Chiamaka, and Engineer Saif Tahil? Yes, if you have read the book, I would like you to give me some comments on it. Is it interesting to realize that the anonymous person calling and checking on the phone is not Tad Longway, but Dr. Falabi? Please help me answer that. Isn't it ironic that the Gambian security check is keen to notice Comrade Melusi's diabetic needles, but not President Dibonso's gun? Answer me that. This is our society. We triumph against might. Thank you, and subscribe and like it.